好的，观众，欢迎来到英雄联盟3周年庆典的现场。我是米勒，
我是小龙。
All right, guys, we have been very patient. We are ready to get underway, though, finally, as game number 1, set number 1, StarHorn Royal Club versus OMG. You just saw the player enters on your screen, and we are going to get into champ select in just a minute. Frosk, this matchup, there's been a lot of this lately, especially in the 2 sets they played over the semifinals and the opening brackets of the LPL playoffs.
First and foremost, it's very important to recognize what either of these teams do well and where they excel, and then that kind of helps paint the picture of how these teams will actually face up and where they match up. So StarHorn Royal Club, let's just start with them. The most obvious power point is going to be in that bot lane. That's the AD carry Uzi, and it's the support Zero. Likewise, they've seen a lot of success with their superstar jungler coming over, Insec, of course, the big KT guy. But it's that combination and that the fact that Insec religiously ganks bottom over and over and over to get Uzi that snowball to allow him to become that powerhouse and be that terrifying AD carry that we know he can be, that is really the key to success for StarHorn Royal Club. The fact that Cola and Korn have been stepping up their game in kind of the back half of the split and definitely through the playoffs isn't a hindrance to them at all, but it's definitely all about ganking that bot lane, getting that bot lane ahead. On the other side, OMG, we've said it over and over and over again, Son, their AD carry, Dada7, the support that we'll be playing for them tonight, probably the weakest links, and one of the weakest bot lanes actually in LPL, a region that's known for their marksmen, that's known for their strong bot lanes. That said, their strength is actually kind of, if you think about the map, StarHorn Royal Club is incredibly powerful on the bottom side of the map. OMG is incredibly potent on the top side of the map. You're dealing with not only Cool, probably the best mid laner in China, one of the best in the world, but you're also dealing with the powerhouse of Going, one of the last standing all-star carry top laners.
Right, and that's something that's really hard to deal with, especially when you're Cola. He's not necessarily known for being particularly great at any one thing. Split pushing is kind of what they like to use him for in a flex situation. Talk a little bit more about the mid laner, though, on StarHorn, because this has been a big part of their resurgence, is putting a lot more emphasis on Korn.
Korn has found a lot of success on 2 particular champions, Fizz and Orianna. Orianna in particular, obviously, will always be a powerful champion just because of everything that she allows for a team. Anti-siege and mobility speed-ups are also very potent in China just because of how their meta works. Expect that to be a contested pick. That said, the scary thing is Korn, he has a decent-sized champion pool, but again, most of his success has been on a very select few champions, and the fact that he's staring across from Cool himself is already a very intimidating opponent. Again, we talked about he's one of the best mid laners in the world, but used 5 different champions in every single game of his playoff set against StarHorn Royal Club. Played 11 different champions over the course of 28 games. This guy, you can't even ban him out. Expect to see a Yasuo ban, expect to see a Ryze ban, but he's got too many tricks.
Yeah, it's really hard to compete with that, and I think their best hope is to try and play something safe, shut down. I don't think the Fizz will make it through pick bans, just because OMG has shown that they're very smart about taking that away from StarHorn, generally speaking. Speaking of the teams, we will be taking a look at them just a minute. There's a camera panning on over. Looks like we'll start at the support position this time, and that is where it's been a lot of trouble for OMG. They had some roster shakeups towards the end of the split. They had to move from Cloud, who they ended up benching, to Dada7, previously known as Coma, Neymar, Tricky Boy. These guys do change their names a lot, but the performance was just not there, and OMG has been struggling with it.
And I feel like we emphasize this a lot. We talk about the performance of OMG's bot lane is very lackluster right now. They're kind of stumbling at the finish line. They had this amazing split, and they're just kind of tanking at the very back half of it. Let's not forget that Coma, Tricky Boy, Dada7, whatever you want to call him, with Son was the bot lane that OMG showed at Worlds last year. They've beaten teams like TSM. At IEM, they showed strong against Fnatic. So, yes, we constantly call them the weak point, but, you know, he's been playing on the team for a very long time, and they have shown results on an international stage.
Yeah, and that is true. He's got the experience in his pocket that they've clearly thought is their best option. We're already in picks and bans, though, so here we go. Lee Sin taken away out the gate, and that's fairly smart to deal with Insec. The Cow has been banned. Going's been drawing those quite frequently.
Again, it is 4.14, so the Alistar changes as far as the extra auto attack with the headbutt is still in the game. Expect to see that champion banned across the board. Jax being targeted and taken away from Cola.
That's smart too. Maokai bans. There's been a lot of top bans, and this is only to be expected against Going, but Jax as well. You've got to not allow Cola to get on a champion he's very comfortable dueling and split pushing with. Orianna ban. So this leaves Fizz open.
Ban.
I wouldn't think anything else. That's kind of the last obvious point here.
I expect it to be a mid lane ban. I expect Yasuo or Ryze.
Oh, it's Braum. Whoa.
Ooh.
Okay, do they first pick
Tarzan
Yasuo
Dada.
now?
No, I mean, there's too many counter options. That said, cool. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, and that's the flex pick though too, because Cool can do that, Gogoing can do that. Gogoing has the best Ryze in China, and this is up to StarHorn to answer. They get the Zillion lock in immediately. This is also a flex choice.
I like that both teams are, like you said, picking up these flex choice champions. The fact that Ryze has been shown, you don't know if it's going to be that top Ryze, so it means that the Yasuo can't necessarily come out as early as it would like to. And of course, we could see that Zillion in the support position or the mid position.
Curious. Uzi on Lucian now too. We have talked in a lengthy bit about Lucian's continued popularity.
But what's really important about the Lucian first pick from StarHorn Royal Club, in conjunction with the Braum ban, it's a direct hit at San and Dada 7. We talk all the time that San, the weakest point for him is his laning phase. Dada 7 has found a lot of success on Thresh, which is why we see that locked in, and Braum, due to the fact that he kind of face checks bushes randomly, and Braum allows him to kind of get out of sticky situations. But San will continuously play Lucian to try to superficially bump his performance in lane phase and just kind of pass through it so he can get into that team fight phase. By taking that away, I'm curious what option he'll go to. If we're going to see a Corki or a Kog'Maw or Tristana.
It's very possible. We haven't seen the mid lane filled out just yet, assuming Gogoing does go for the Ryze choice. We already have Insect locking in his Rengar as well as the top lane. Kola going on Irelia, he's proven adept at that. But Cool, yeah, he can play just about anything, and it will be a Zed pickup, so we will get to see that.
I would love to see Trist.
I think that's what they go to. He's had reasonable success on it. Twitch is an option, but it's blind. Ooh, Vayne, okay. All right, let's see it.
They might go for a lane swap here with that Vayne. Going and facing across from Zero and Uzi is always going to be very intimidating. Possibly one of the best 2v2 lane matchups. I don't even think Name and FCZF would have a hard time with this lane.
I think so. I'm really worried about the mid lane though right now. And yeah, you got to go for the Fizz pickup. I wasn't doubting that Korn would go for that since it was open available to him and almost never is. So we will see support Zillion. I really like this comp from StarHorn though, just in sort of an assassination role.
Mobility is very potent in China, it always will be, which is why Zillion, it's strong globally, but it's very strong in China due to the, not just the chrono shift, of course, the ultimate, the anti-siege that it provides, but mostly due to its speed up and slow down. Again, towers fall very quickly in China. Games become very chaotic. These teams like to fight each other at any point in time, and that speed up to close those gaps is very potent.
Yeah, so we'll have to see how this game does go. Everyone is locked in. We'll be going on the Rift in just a minute. Guys, we're taking a quick break. We'll be right back. Game number 1, StarHorn Royal Club versus OMG.
有点像 UZI 去年那个 cos 那个韦恩，对吧？好，这边双方的阵容已经确定了。OMG 第一把拿出了有一点点让我们意想不到的阵容，反而皇族是拿到了我们之前猜到差不多的阵容。对的，有刀妹拿刀妹，中路拿出他擅长的小鱼人 ，ADC 这里拿出了昨天表现非常好的露西安。但是辅助时光这一手的话，是我们没有想到的。对，因为 Zero 不太喜欢打这种，他喜欢用娜美。 娜美啊，这种的英雄。对，
你还记得我之前有说，OMG 这边有可能会拿时光这个体系，但是我觉得皇族这边可能是防止对面呢，也有可能的。
有可能。好，我们看到现在双方选手都已经准备就绪，马上进入 OMG 和皇族的第一场比赛。
All right, everybody, welcome to Summoner's Rift for the start of what will be an explosive series between OMG and StarHorn Royal Club. On the line, a trip to Worlds. The winner will make it for sure. The loser will have to fight against LGD, and both these teams coming out of the gates swinging.
Speaking of swing, Cola taking a little bit of damage from Going. And can we talk about Going's rise? We didn't get to mention it much into the champion select. When you beat Going's rise, you get to put that on your resume.
Yeah, that's like the thing that you want to aspire to. Now, Cola has had some success on Aurelia. See if he can get the outduel going. Both these teams have incredible late-game scaling potential. Uzi, though, particularly confident on this Lucian just because of how fed he tends to get.
And I think you really touched on a topic. StarHorn Rail Club got effectively across the board comfort picks. I mean, other than if Cola was on Jax, this would pretty much be their top picks across every single lineup. Whereas OMG, yes, they got a lot of picks that they want, of course, going on his rise, but the fact that Son and Dada7 are taking Vayne Thresh into a 2v2 against Uzi on Zilean Lucian, pretty concerning right there. So.
Yeah, it's hard to see how this one's going to pan out exactly. We have seen Cool play incredibly well in the mid lane, by the way, during the playoffs, but he hasn't really been particularly impressive in the last couple of sets. Yes, they were able to 2-0 over Invictus Gaming, but, you know, they are the first team defeated, so how much does that really mean?
OMG is always going to be about their synergy and their communication. When they're playing well, it's because they're playing incredibly well, cohesively as a unit. It's very rare that, you know, one player will be doing his job and the rest of the team just kind of falls behind. When they fall apart, it's through everyone. Yeah,
although they have been having some trouble with Dada getting caught out. Lately, he's been playing a lot safer, as safe as you can play against Zero Zilean. This is incredibly annoying to deal with in the early game, and they're going to need all the help they can get. Son will get up to that later game status, but for the moment being denied CS while the mid laners and the top laners continue to duel. We'll have to see where the junglers focus their attention.
But again, you'll see this every single time from OMG. They will never start their jungle on the same side of their bottom lane due to the fact that Son and Dada7 need so much assistance and need so much control in that lane. We'll see if Drug maybe looks for an early gank on that bot lane or if he's just going to stick around in his jungle, farm until 6, wait for a power spike, but Son and Dada7 just have to hang on here and not feed Uzi into Legendary before lane phase gives out.
First rule of fighting against StarHorn, do not feed the Uzi. Now, Insec making some moves towards the mid right now. They're pinging him out, so Cool knows this. It's impossible to gank Cool effectively, especially when you put him on a playmaking assassin like Zed. This, I think, is going to be a futile effort, but Insec is going to try for it nonetheless. Oh, hook onto Zero. Down to the bot lane. There's a bit of poke going on. That might be first blood. Whoa, it's low the tower! And it ends up being Dada7 securing it up. Son will get in range to take some damage, as well as dish some onto Uzi. Insec trying to make a play in the mid as well. No dice, and Zero ends up being the first casualty. Big surprise there.
It fits into the MO of StarHorn World Club being punished for their over-aggression, but this is... if StarHorn World Club needs to get ahead anywhere, it's always in the lane phase because OMG's team fighting is just too pitch perfect come late game.
Yeah, absolutely. OMG, very controlled style. StarHorn wants to make the plays early. They remind me a lot of the KT Arrows in the way that they make these early aggressive moves focusing on their jungle pressure. But vice versa, OMG has a definitely differential style, and they're happy to stall it out late, and I think it's working well.
I think the joke is always that the KT Arrows are the long-lost Chinese cousins in OGN.
Well, you know, when they got Insect, it's a KT, or he was on the Bullets, but still, there's a lot of transfer, so we're seeing all of that kind of, like, bleed
don't
through,
forget
right?
Zero. He came from the KT organization as well.
He played for both teams once, but I don't think it was as a support. Wasn't he, like, a mid lane or something? No, he played jungle, okay.
He played
there's three lanes. There's three lanes in jungle, and I can guess one of them. I'm going to get it wrong. Alright, so the game is going to probably be a little bit slower just because the aggressive attempts by StarHorn have kind of been stalled out just a little bit here. Insec will look to focus bot soon. It's been his signature thing to do for a long time, but it's difficult against a Thresh and a Vayne. The outplay potential is really, really strong, and also Cool has been able to zone Corn out on his favorite champion. He hasn't got to play Fizz much for a while.
Fizz Zed, though, as that matchup goes on and they get their ultimates available, it's very much a skill-based matchup. Both of them have a window of relevance to outplay each other. The fact that you're dealing with the stripper pole and the Zed ultimate.
You have the most provocative names for things. Oh, Uzi, uh-oh. He's caught up on a hook. Can't dodge out of that one. He is going to spend the Summoner Heal. Lovely coming in just a little bit, but it's not going to be enough. Son gets himself his first kill. And this bot lane, well, we talked about them being weak, but they don't look it.
and they come out swinging. And again, this is so bad news bears for StarHorn World Cup. This is where they get ahead. They have to find the success in their lane phase because, in all honesty, they have issues closing out games. And when it comes to kind of the mid, early, late game, they kind of stall around, teeter around Baron, and can't find correct objectives. And they tend to brute force with their early gold leads that they've built up and just kind of mow through games. So the fact that they're already stalling out gives big props to OMG.
Yeah, huge the way they've been able to come up with these plays. So they're not just playing defensively, they are taking the smart offensive as well. And the outplays, every lane is winning arguably except for the top, and that's honestly just about dead even. So right now, big trouble for StarHorn. Normally the team that makes the first play, they're getting plays made on them. And speaking of plays, up in the top, Cola taking quite a lot of damage from the full combo of Go Going. He will 1v1 you any day of the week. Uh-oh, Uzi. He's in trouble, running right into the flay, dashing out, exhausted immediately, but there is still the hook available. Data7 looking like a completely different player here. Gets the hook off onto Zero. Exhaust gets spent. Zero is low, but so is San. Changing targets, Uzi's there. He's going to go down. San finally falling, and it looks like we have a bit of lag on our end. Apologies, ladies and gents. We'll switch it over for just a moment, so please bear with us. Thank you very much. We'll be right back. Well, that was quick. Okay, in all the craziness that happened, there was a lot of kills. I'll tell you about them in a second. Leveling went down, San went down, Go Going teleported in, and he is done. They committed so hard for Zero, and now StarHorn has an arguable lead. They can go for Dragon from here. It's only 7.5 minutes, a huge mistake by OMG.
Weren't we just seeing the praises of OMG and the fact that they were finally finding the offensive on the early game, and one mistake? Again, these are the top tier teams. You can't give them an inch, but hold on a second. Uzi getting caught up.
Oh, that might just happen. This is danger territory right now. Dragon is going down. Zero took a lot of damage from it. Uzi staying fairly safe, but he's still in a bit of trouble right now, and I think they might be able to secure him. Hook goes wide to the left. Nice dodge from Uzi. And Zero is there for the save, but not going to be enough. San picks him off.
With that, though, they still managed to get the Dragon, so StarHorn World Cup do have a decent-sized gold lead here.
Yeah,
now
I think
if they can continue to snowball, like, what do they turn this Dragon gold into? Are they going to go for vision control, try to make more picks? Although...
Yeah, Cola, okay. Going on the aggressive, even though Go Going was able to dish the initial burst of damage. However, a large minion wave is going to make him push back. Meanwhile, Tower falls in the mid. Leveling, he's going to find Cola. Hello! Equilibrium strike perfectly placed, and gank denied. Alright, now Cool has been able to win his lane pretty hard here. You compare the CS, it's a 50 lead, and it's only 8.5 minutes. I mean, that's massive. Korn, he's on his best champion, and this is not good for him, but then again, he's up against one of the best mid laners in China. There we go, in the bot lane, San, Data7. It's bomb on San's head, but he's completely okay with it right now. They have no level advantage. Actually down a little bit in CS as well, but still a 2-in-1 Vayne is not exactly what you want. Oh, Zero getting hooked up into the box. He goes. He's got his ult off, has to use it. Vayne in the final hour, looking for the re-engage, not going to happen. Insec waiting in the bush, seeing if he can't get a lane gank going on. Alright guys, now that we're in a little bit of a lull actually, I think we're going to swap the stream over to take it into the actual game itself. So thanks for bearing with us while we bear out all the technical difficulties. We will be there in just a moment. All right, guys, we're back in the game. Thank you for bearing with us through the technical difficulties in all of that. Nothing has happened, nothing important, of course, but we're back in the game. So, Ross, welcome back.
Here we go. We got our in-game sounds as well.
Oh, yeah, that did happen. Now, Dada has got another bomb on his head. Son has been really unable to find a whole lot more since that early game pickoff that occurred, but still, this is looking like a completely different bot lane, and it's got to be worrying if you're StarHorn World Club, relying on your outplay potential. It just hasn't shown up here.
So they did triple Son, of course, taking away Lucian. That said, Dada7, we talked about how one of his comfort picks is Thresh. Yeah, he's found more success on Braum just to kind of the play style that Braum allows him to have, but definitely finding these early picks. Did you ever think that you would see the day where Dada7 would outplay Zero? Yeah,
that's a little bit curious in all honesty. And I think StarHorn is scratching their heads on that one now. Meanwhile, up in the top lane, Going has gone down once, but that was due to the teleport down. Body hasn't actually been outplayed so much in this top. He's been holding out pretty steady. But Cola has evaded all the attempts from Drug to gank him, really. And here we go. Insec in the brush. Sweeper.
Good work by OMG, though.
Yeah, they're really doing a good job of keeping safe and playing to that win condition. Lovely now hanging out there as well. Dada will back with him, and so will Son. So at this point, they've just got to be absolutely pleased with the fact that they really haven't given much up at a Dragon.
That said, gold lead still very narrow in its margin of error, so both teams still have to pay attention. StarHorn World Cup pressure is on, though, to find that snowball due to the fact that Uzi is on Lucian.
Yeah, that's a bit troubling because he's been so confident that he's able to get up to a big level, get fed easily, but he's only got 1 kill for his troubles, 2 deaths. And he's running a much later-oriented build, too. Brutalizer first, of course, and Dada.
Oh, the flash.
Oh, boy, yeah, that's going to be trouble. That's the box down. It's exhausted. Teleport coming in right now. Going. He's going to get the hook. Son's finding him, too. Cola actually coming in, and he's going to go down way too far around the back. Son getting himself a 3rd kill. And oh my goodness, everybody pinging left and right. Son now might be able to find Uzi. Insects onto Son. Oh no, getting hooked up. Deathmark coming in. They're trying to save lives, but it won't be enough. Son goes down, so does Going. And that is 2 kills going over to Korn before he finally gets shut down. All said and done, though, OMG do manage to get themselves a much better engagement.
Actually, brilliant positioning from Dada7 to get a nice lantern for Son to allow them to instantly take out Cole as he teleported in. Didn't pay attention that he was against an enemy vein, ran across the wall, and just got punished by that condemn.
Yeah, and this is Son showing up big. I mean, they've needed him to be... Maybe they haven't necessarily relied on him to be a stronger carry, but it's been a weak point that they've just sort of acknowledged and accepted, and stepping up like this, it gives you hope for OMG.
Well, again, it goes back to the fact that we're saying Son is the weakest point of OMG just speaks to how strong that team is, because he is by no means an incredibly inefficient AD carry. He's just, you know, in lane with possibly one of the best AD carries in the world, not just in China. So with a grain of salt, Son definitely knows how to team fight. Just his lane phase has been arguably weak, but, you know, with those early kills, kind of got his hand held through that.
Yeah. Now, where Uzi has sort of maybe faltered a little bit in this early game, we see Korn finally stepping up, those 2 kills, getting him already a Lich Bane. Oh, the blue buff nearly got picked up. Dada says, I want that. Dragon, however, is live, and this is going to be an OMG play for sure with Insect backing. That is not going to be contestable. So all said and done, OMG going to maintain a bit of a gold lead here. They have a tower advantage now, even on the Dragons 1-1 so far this game, and really have been impressed with Son and Dada stepping up huge. Dada hasn't died. And that's something that we normally can't say 15 minutes into an OMG game.
It's been perfect control from OMG so far, is how they're handling the map. The fact that they took down the early mid-tier tower as well as the bot-tier tower. So just naturally, they get more control over the bottom side of the map because their minions and their vision points are going to go farther along down the lanes. But then look at the vision spread. Again, China is a region that's typically kind of picked on for its lackluster vision, but these top-tier teams showing that they can compete globally with the rest of the world. The Pinks were invested in. They took the time to sweep out that area, to control everything. They went and got information on the blue buff, and then punish StarHorn for an untimely jungle back.
Yeah, it was really, really well executed. No less can be expected of OMG. They are the team that thinks very smart. They execute very smart. You'd like to think of them as like the best of both worlds. We talked about LGD earlier yesterday about how they are very cerebral in what they do, but they don't always have the ability to execute. This is OMG, but they have the members that can make these plays. They've been experienced Yeah, they're the hardest working team. That's what they call themselves. We will play and work harder than anybody else, and they're showing why that rings true right now.
So hold on a second, OMG might be in, or excuse me, Going might be in some trouble.
Not the rest of the team, but he's
him.
in the danger zone. Here comes Insec right now. Oh, he walks away from it. San's up there. Oh my goodness, they get Cola caught up, and Insec trying to zone just a little bit. This is going to be really insane. Cool. What are you doing under tower range, buddy? He's going down. Now Dada's finally falling as well, and that move certainly backfired. 2 kills for none. They're trying to answer back on a 0 ult was already popped, and they get him. Insec, however, he's not going down, and that is going to be a couple of kills going over to the StarHorn side. Finally, Uzi getting some play as well, and they managed to take 4 for 2.
The biggest mistake that really kind of led to the unraveling of that team fight, of course, is going to be Cool's dive on the Aurelia, not paying attention to the stun, the fact that she was lower health than him, so he was about to get stunned under tower, then a beautiful collapse from StarHorn Royal Club. And I feel like we were just singing the praises of OMG.
It's a curse every time.
Every time we compliment a team, they immediately then
we should just maintain a neutral stance. So there are no throws ever.
I think we should just take turns. Like, whatever team is ahead and it's like a contestable Baron, we'll just start complimenting the team.
All right, I'm down with this idea. StarHorn is doing so well right now, Froksurinn. They're clearing out wards like it's nobody's business. Insec getting the jump on everything.
30 gold.
Yeah, that's worth. Uzi completing his Infinity Edge now is going to be a lot scarier in these team fights. Should be able to compete with San, who went a little bit too far. In all honesty, going under tower range like that is not smart without the rest of your team. They didn't have vision on StarHorn, and they committed heavily just to kill 0 twice.
Very true. OMG, though, kind of, I think they'll slow it down from here and they'll be much more cautious. Don't want to get burned like that again. You see them going through the jungle again, placing down their wards. The dragon is got on the bottom side. There's no objective down there, so we don't need vision down there. What are we focusing on? The next easiest objective to take, it's going to be that first tier top tower.
Yeah, and they're trying for it, but they might not get the chance. Drug is in trouble, has to burn a jump, and he will get bullet up, but they weren't able to follow through on that. Tower is down thanks to San and friends. Nonetheless, StarHorn really able to punish the slightest positional errors, and they've got to be careful now. Cole is splitting out the bot lane, but he will back away safely.
Again, the mobility of StarHorn World Cup's composition is terrifying, not just in the Zillion speed up, but you're also competing against all of those gap closers that those champions naturally have on their kit.
Everybody arguably an assassin, and even Uzi, just because of what he can do on this Lucian. Early game armor penetration from the Brutalizer also going to help him out a bit.
The problems that OMG has actually foreseen yesterday's games was their inability to find hard engage. They kind of stalled out a bit due to the fact that Dada 7 was their only hard engage tool. See if maybe they'll fall into this trap as this game goes on later.
I'll have to see. Right now, big siege coming out, but there is a lot of single target damage, not a lot of tower pushing burst, and they don't have the wave to really follow this one, so Drug and friends will be able to chase them off that one. OMG doing an excellent job at defending most of their turrets. In fact, they've only given things up when they really haven't been around because they've been pushing another objective.
And they have to really outposition and be very careful and methodical about how they take these towers down, because neither team has the best and safest wave clear. It's not like there's an Orianna or a Ziggs or a Gragas even kind of clearing these waves. You have the Zillion support. Fizz and Zed can clear waves, but they have to be on that front line to do so.
Yeah, majorly committing to it. And we have seen pretty good commitments. Oh, wow, Cola getting hooked up. Wow, Dada 7 has really stepped up his Thresh game lately, although he might be in a bit of a bad spot. Uzi taking a kill onto him. Oh, my goodness, what is happening right now? Loveling goes down, Cool's going to go down, and this is all sorts of wonky. It's going to be a 2v2 in this jungle right now. Korn and San duking it out. Korn's going down. Finally, a little bit of help from going. Uzi, the last man standing. He can go all the way, but maybe not. San will finally pick him off, and it is a 5 for 4. San coming up huge, but that was a narrow fight.
We call it a 5v4, but effectively what it was is it was a 3v3 and a 2v2, a mismatched skirmish because they were separate in the jungle. The biggest mistake that happened that team fight was the fact that Zero died with the chrono shift, so the Zillion ult was not utilized on anyone. Yeah,
that was a bit of an issue for StarHorn's engagement. I don't think they expected to take it, but then there was so much committed chase from OMG that it kind of forced their hand. And you just see this mountain of bodies getting stacked up in that jungle right now. 13 and 13 kills. All slight advantage in the gold pool for OMG, but it could change at any time. Dragon is live, and we might see another bloody battle. Uh-oh, Dada 7 getting caught out of position. Insect gets flayed, jumps back in for round 2, continues to go. Here comes Drug, though. Can they get the hook off? No, they can't. Bomb isn't going to land on anybody, but this dragon fight is going to happen pretty soon, I would think. Oh, it's not even going to. They're going to give it up.
Every time we see Dada7, he's face-checking into the enemy team.
They
have to give it up. They lost too much health right there, and they just weren't in a position to do anything. So we were just, again, praising OMG, the fact that they were being very methodical about how they take down objectives, you know, going into the area, setting up their wards, making sure that they're doing it safely. Face checks the brush, loses the numbers advantage, lose the free dragon.
Yeah, it's easy to see how those little mistakes can translate into something huge for StarHorn, and they are so good at punishing. And they may not be the most patient team, but they certainly will look for openings and create them if there are none, as well as just taking the little advantages here and there. So StarHorn knows they have a bit of a timer in which they can act. They have late game scaling, but not nearly as much as OMG. And now Insect finding cool, but that's not where you want to be. Zillion ult just in time. Deathmark is not even going to land, but they do burn that crucial spell. And now the rest of OMG is rushing over towards the Baron pit right now. This would be not the earliest Baron we've seen, but they're going to start it.
It's really scary, too, the fact that they have 2 Borks, so they're able to burn it down very quickly, but StarHorn knows that this is going down.
This is still a 50-50. You have a teleport in from Cola right now. I don't know if they have the damage. They
Oh, no.
are thinking about backing off. Oh, Drug is low. Here comes Cola. Assassination comes in. Down goes the Kazakhs, but they do manage to answer back to the top laner. San now in the final hour running forward. Baron is angry at everyone and everything. It is a 4v4. Insect is way too low to get super involved in this fight. Chum the Waters coming out, landing on Dada7, and that will force them to back away. I feel like that's still a better trade for StarHorn because it guarantees no Baron can happen right now.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, it was worth a try from OMG. Again, the fact that they have the double Bork. StarHorn has to be very cautious about a snuck Baron because it will burn down very quickly. I mean, that said, OMG, they trade 1 for 1 in the end, and they don't lose any tower pressure or anything like that, so not the worst case scenario.
Yeah, Zero couldn't fully get involved in that fight, nor could Insect, just because, well, one was low and the other didn't have the ult. I mean, that's the issue. When you have that effective 6-man, it makes it that much easier to take a straight 5v5, but by kind of giving them an insurance policy, OMG was able to attempt that. They nearly got it, too, if it weren't for Cola's timely late surge.
It was a good play at the time because OMG had invested so much of their money in warding that top half of the jungle that you might as well utilize that gold that you spent and placed there to every advantage. So trying for the early Baron, worth a shot. Didn't pan out, but good try, guys.
Yeah.
Good try.
Give him a gold star for effort. Here we go now.
Dragon's still down. We should see teams kind of return to lanes, shoving out their creeps, taking the free gold where available. StarHorn Royal Club does need to focus on this mid-tier tower. It is the most important objective on the map for them, although they are looking at this Baron.
I think they might just try baiting this out. They're so confident in their fighting. I mean, well, they have burst.
They do have great...
Oh, man. Are they going for this? No, no, no. No, it's not happening. Although, Uzi, whoa, hello! That was more damage than he bargained for.
To play it's curious too because either team is really good at engage, disengage, re-engage, like finding these crazy counter fights. Looks like they're going aggressive.
Yeah, it's just going back and forth right here. Insect looking for the jump off. He does find cool. The bull is down, but they're in tower range. Don't want to go too far into that one. And they will get a calling off and a San. That's a really nice combo we don't often see. The Bola into get cold. And that takes San out of the fight for just a moment. They might go for the Baron bait again.
They're trying to find picks and fights here because they want this Baron. They don't necessarily want to kill someone. If they do, that's fabulous. But they just want a numbers or a health advantage.
They're just waiting. There's plenty of room in the Baron pit for everybody, but only when Baron is not aggroed. They have to. The evolving W on Kazakhs first is such a good idea, but he might be in trouble. Wow, the Chum the Water's not going to connect. Korn going too far forward. Zani's Hourglass, perfect time. And he actually was able to move. Wow, that is the glitchiest fizz. And he's going to be gone. Zillion ult coming in. There is Dada7 with the hook into follow-up on the box. He's low, though. That is cool, making all the plays, but he finally goes down. Going, trying to outplay as well. Zero is down. Cola is down. That's a pickup for going. Inside coming in for round 2. Drug is low. San is down. This is a horrible fight for OMG, and that's going to be another pickup for Korn coming in on the back of it. Fail flash. Loveling. He's down. Uzi getting the kill. That is a 4 for 2.
The mistake there was the fact that OMG approached that brush, and of course the Rengar leap from his passive came immediately down on Son and just kind of deleted him from the fight. They had it warded. They knew that StarHorn Royal Club was sitting in there and baiting that, but
going. He's coming in here. Can he go enough? Uzi, that's so much burst right now. Baron taking him out. He gets the credit. Can he 1v3? Insect goes down. Yes, he can. It's a triple kill for OMG's going.
I think we were just talking about this, Pyra. If we praise a team, immediately they decide to throw, and StarHorn Royal Club attempting that Baron so low.
Oh, man.
Not realizing that going was going to walk up onto them with the AoE.
I mean, that move was absolutely brilliant from going. They are so low. The Baron was still high enough. They didn't have the damage. I mean, StarHorn has proven that they definitely have the cojones to make the action, but that was a little bit too bold, and going punishes epically for it. This Dragon, at least the Baron, excuse me, is going down. So is Cola. Oh no, he's hooked in. Baron, they forget about it for just a moment. Going in on a Dota 7, finding it. They find the Baron pickoff and nearly get Cola as well. Bomb on his head, gonna blow up without anyone in range to take the damage, and OMG has to be happy about that. This game has been so back and forth.
What almost looked disastrous for OMG in the initial fight makes a huge comeback with GoGoing's Rise triple right there and gives them the Baron and the driver's seat for this game. Now it's about, again, the fact that neither of these teams are super proficient at sieging. Like, can this Baron transition into cracking any of these inhibitors, getting any of these major objectives? It's still relatively early in the game.
Yeah, well, there's still the X factor of all this assassination potential StarHorn has. The reason that these fights have been so haywire is the craziness of these comps. You look at it across the board, nobody's going to live for long, and it's really only been timely zero chrono shifts to make these things happen. It's a 3-man gank squad, and they are pinging out for San right now. He knows it's happening. The Rengar ult comes in. He barely dodges away from him, but he's half health already. Assassinated immediately. Insect nearly went down with him. Too Cool trying to make that happen for sure. This is the 1v3. This is the kind of thing that you always had to worry about. And Cool bites off a little bit more than he can chew. Teleport coming in for Cola right now. Here comes going. Canceled teleport. And they are taking the 2v3. Uzi rushing to the rescue when the AD carry has to get in to defend the rest of the team. You know something's gone wrong. Loveling on the jump in. There's the calling, zoning them away, and they will stay safe to fight another day. 19 kills to 19. 28 minutes on the clock. This game is all sorts of crazy.
One Baron down, but more importantly, StarHorn Royal Club was able to disengage that and waste a lot of OMG's time. This buff is ticking, and again, we said this was a very early Baron buff. Would they be able to transition this into any sort of snowball to really help them close out this game? And so far, not really. They've got, what, a free Dragon off of that and just the straight Baron gold?
Yeah, that's kind of the issue here. So they haven't really been able to push just about anything. They've had their attention drawn down to that bot. You have now attention drawn to the top where Cola was pushing in. This is StarHorn's stall-out strategy. When they're not ahead, they'll just split push you and find picks every single time. If OMG can outplay that, they can push it in, but StarHorn, they know how to play from behind.
I also want to talk a little bit about while we have kind of this lull in the game, the synergy between Zilean and Rengar. I feel like a lot of people, when you think about a Summer comp, it's always that Orianna, Rengar, Orianna, Kha'Zix. You know, you go into the stealth with the Shockwave. It works very well with Zilean, and I love to see when they time it correctly, when Rengar leaps stealthed onto an enemy just as the Zilean bomb goes off, and the ridiculous amounts of burst damage they have, especially from this support Zilean.
Well, and you can also have him run it when he's really low, too. You could have the ult come in, and it's like really hard to see in like the heat of the moment. Like he jumps in, oh god, I gotta kill this Rengar. Oh, he's back. And it's like, surprise, gotcha.
OMG now looking to create more pressure points on the map. Pick up one of these straggler towers.
They could push it in, but yeah, look at how quick Uzi in corner mobilizing to defend this one. Going. He has been a massive success on this Rise. I mean, we always talk about how good he is on that particular champion. No one wants to 1v1 him really, but props to Cola for really holding out well on this Aurelia and this scaling. Now coming to his aid, this tower though, getting fired down pretty quick, and they don't have a lot of anti-siege. I think this is only going to go one way.
Again, it's pretty much on both sides. If StarHorn Royal Club went on the aggressive for whatever reason and tried to siege up on a tower, I mean, obviously right now they're being distracted by the Baron buff. They don't want to try to push on to OMG that allow them to take what they want, but either team would be in a lot of trouble should a team approach to siege. They don't have a lot of options.
Yeah, StarHorn pretty much has sort of a very simple plan right now to just wait out until they can actually get relevant again. Staying fairly not too far behind in the gold count. I mean, 4,000 down may seem like a lot, but 30 minutes in, it's not as much as it could have been.
Especially for what these players can do with gold deficits.
Oh, yeah.
Again, these are the top top teams in LPL, EDG, OMG, StarHorn Royal Club.
Well, EDG still honestly looks a bit more of a world away here. Maybe not as much because these teams are really playing to a very high standard, but talk about being able to do more with less. Corn, for the longest time, he would always get behind in lane. In fact, he was very behind, still very behind in the CS department, but he was able to make do quite well and really kind of come up big for his team. Now that he's been more of a carry, assassin type player, been making huge strides, and this team has been massively improving.
Especially in this matchup in particular, the fact that Fizz is strong. So they have a very clear-cut answer. Should Son get out of control like he has on that Vayne 7, 5, and 6 right now, it's very easy for Corn to make him disappear. But speaking of disappearing...
Yeah, going. How about a magic trick? Corn is going to go low. Here comes Drug, but it's not quite enough damage. They do have Son as well and Dada 7. They should be able to burst this one down quick. Whoa, speaking of burst, leveling. Oh my goodness, that was way too quick. Go and getting the credit down for that one, though, as they managed to take out Corn. Insect trying to make a play. Dada still alive. The bomb might finish him off. No, it doesn't. Not quite enough. Cola gets the Zillion. Oh, Chrono Shift still going, and they'll just finish him off. Wait to take him out in just a minute. Going, leading the charge. Deathmark in for Cool right now, and they are just going all the way, but over-committing. Insect will get the kill credit for that, and OMG gets cold feet.
Beautiful positioning from Son. Again, the fact that we talk all the time that he is the weakest link of OMG. Watch him in these teams fights. The stars and the carries for OMG, normally we would say it's the Bash brothers, Drug, Drug, Cool, and Going. This time around, it's Going and Son. This Rise is always holding this Vayne's hand and acting as a giant meat shield of terror while Vayne just runs amok in the background.
Yeah, working for them incredibly well this time. I think they are even a little surprised to find Son doing as well as he has. Maybe they've been practicing this Vayne a little bit more. It's certainly a huge step up.
It's a champion for him. Son is, again, he gets a lot of flack, but it's in the context of the caliber of players that he's facing off against. He is by no means a bad player. His lane phase is weak, but his team fight has always been incredibly strong. I think he's very similar to IG's Kid, and that it's a sketchy lane phase, but if you get me to the 5v5, you know, I can pull through.
Yeah, and pull through he has. This has got to be a nightmare situation for Uzi, finding, you know, the champion that he's famous for kind of being turned against him in such a fantastic fashion, although he has kept up really well. Similar KDAs here. Now StarHorn attempting the 4-man Fnatic Death Brush. Uzi trying to look tasty. OMGs, they're not even interested. They're okay. We're just going to move up and take some farm. That's completely fine. They have to be careful not to push out too far here. Very patient from StarHorn. We haven't seen this of them characteristically. Oh, there we go. Nice Lantern.
Very nice Lantern. Imagine that. Dada 7 checks a brush with
Wait a minute.
With his lantern.
I have an ability that gives me vision of something without walking into it? Ah.
He also has the Braum Q, but it never stopped him.
He is learning.
I
mean, Dada has been much better in this set from where we saw him even yesterday.
Oh, but hold on. Here comes the aggressive.
Yeah, Insect, there's your submarine right there, and Drug is wondering what hit him. Can Rengar pick up that head? It might just be able to. Nope. Leveling's going to make him back off and get his ult second proc there. Baron Dance will commence. All 5 members of StarHorn looking to start this one up. A little antsy. So is the Baron. He's not too happy about 5 members sitting in his base.
That one ward in the corner pocket right there.
Yeah, they're going to start this one up. Gives a perfect timer over to OMG, and they are rushing to get Drug back into the picture here. Cool, trying to make something happen. Zero. Oh my goodness, he's chunked out. Immediately has to expend his ultimate. Baron is going to go down. They are going to immediately burst Zero once again. How long can they keep this Baron buff up? Son, he's going to find a kill. Fizz is going to find a Thresh. Dada 7, he goes down almost immediately. Corn is going to find Leveling. This is all sorts of crazy. Still anybody's fight. Cool trying to assassinate Uzi. Deathmark, can it be enough? Yes, it will. And Cool, going, trying to make the last play. But he is the last man standing besides Son right now, and he will go down. Son going too far forward. He's done. That's going to be the ace for 2.
Okay, let's talk about the setup for that, because StarHorn Royal Club, a lot of people make the assumption that Chinese teams fight for no reason. StarHorn does not fight for no reason. They are very methodical in what they do. The fact that they were so patient with that Baron, when they got the damage on Drug, forcing him to back, they knew that that was their time to shine. The other brilliant point there, the zone from Zero, that Zillion with the Chrono Shift, stalled out long enough to allow his team to secure the Baron. Of course, OMG can't just flood into it because they don't have their jungler. Their smite was sent back. So not only does StarHorn take the lead right there as well as the Baron, they now clinch 2 towers and are looking for the dragon.
Yeah, a really nice play by them. And yeah, sacrificing Zero, that was such a brilliant maneuver because it was so unorthodox of them to say, oh, we'll take this guy that's incredibly squishy, at least appearingly so.
all of these cooldowns, especially from Ryze, the big, AoE damage dealer effectively for the team, comes in, just blasts the Zilean, but he's then got to wait all that time and isn't able to go into the pit and cause havoc. Yeah,
they knew they didn't have a smite steal potential because Drug had to run back, so that was really the decision-making that set that all up, realizing that there was no potential to steal the Baron, not easily anyways, and StarHorn stick to their guns. They come out ahead in this game right now, dead even on towers, and this game has really been a tale of turning fights.
Not over yet, see what they could do, but again, this Baron is later. Again, it's about, can they use these Barons and break the objective line to try to snowball this into a victory. StarHorn Royal Club, not a team well known for their closing ability.
I think this is
OMG.
A much smarter play from StarHorn. This is comfortable for them too. You look at normally when they get way ahead early and the stall out happens, it's just because they kind of get complacent and lazy almost about how they're doing it. Now that they have this back and forth game, they look energized. They look ready to take objectives, pinging all over the map right now. And talked about they're the team that always pings the most. And part of it's necessary, part of it is just proactive.
Have to communicate. Do you find a pick?
I heard Insec is maybe making some play. Oh, yeah, that's happening. Loveling, he's going low. Can he stand out? No, I don't think so. That Bulla was just enough to secure him up. And one man down. Can OMG hold the line on this tower? Coling being suspended very quickly from Uzi. Siege will commence. Split push with Cola once again. And they're going to move over to the top.
Pressure points. StarHorn, so methodical in everything they're doing. The fact they had Cola setting that up for them. They find another pick on Drug. It's 2 back-to-back picks on him that have allowed them to really take control of this game.
Yeah, now StarHorn with the 5 members here, they still have 25 seconds until they have to worry about that Kha'Zix counter-engage. However, Going is still to be reckoned with. This is a terrifying Ryze. The burst damage is incredible, and they can find themselves without the Baron buff, so they don't want to push in to crack the inhibitor line, but that's all that's left on the map.
Comes back to the fact that the siege is difficult. StarHorn Royal Club does have a little bit more to them because Lucian is very good at burning down towers quickly with his passive.
Yeah, they've been able to utilize that very effectively. And here we go once more. Cool, he's in trouble. Lantern out, he's not going to take it. Living Shadow the wrong way. He does, but it's not enough. Corrin will get enough damage in the meanwhile, and he dies in mid-swing.
OMG can't even step off their doorstep without being punished from StarHorn Royal Club. They are relentless in what they want.
Yeah, hook. It's Banshee Veiled. Not going to be able to set that one up. Dada has been playing a lot better on this stretch, but it's not quite enough to maybe save them the game here. Going gets a shark on his head, and that is going to be a lot of damage to this tower right now. Corn, Cola, everyone running out. They may not just have it. Dada makes a gap close by hooking up on a minion, and here's the counter engage now. Corn is going to spend his Zhonya's. That was the bait they're looking for. Cola, he's going down, but that's a Zilean, or is he? Oh my goodness, Corn Fies Going. This is terrible right now for OMG, and they still make it out alive. StarHorn, 5 members, bleeding health bars. Loveling nearly goes down. The Coling comes out. The hook does not connect, and StarHorn Royal Club are making all the right plays right now.
That said, StarHorn was actually pushed off of the tower, so again, they were being very methodical. They wanted the mid-tier tower, they waited for the minion wave, made the early pick on Cool when he stepped off of his base, but they didn't get it. And it was actually a really good micromanage of the Zilean ult from OMG's side. As soon as the Zilean ult went down on Cola, they made sure to leave him at 11 health and immediately shift their damage and their target focus. So great communication from them to really, I mean, if that Zilean ult had procced and Aurelia came back with the other health, that would have been immediately a re-engage from StarHorn Royal Club and possibly the mid-inhibitor tower.
Yeah, I think that it was a nice defense from OMG nonetheless. They still gave up a lot for it. And it looks like once they manage to latch onto a target, StarHorn doesn't let go. They're able to pick people off with incredible efficiency, and this is the strength of that assassination comp.
OMG need to get off of their base, though, and start taking control of their jungle again as far as the vision. Make it safe for them to go back into the forest.
Yeah, I think that there's really no chance you can even go solo anywhere. I mean, San is having a hard enough time getting a little paranoid just placing down a ward in this jungle. I mean, this is the kind of situation. They have wards outside the map. They don't have many inside their own. StarHorn knows this, and they can continue to throw their weight around.
See if they're able to close. Baron is going to spawn in 1 minute. Should be the next biggest point of contention. And I expect StarHorn Royal Club to go back and play their pick game. The fact that they're coming through the jungle, they have a lot of pinks. They're setting up, denying all of this vision. They want to continue with this strategy of an OMG member walks into them. They either find the pick or they find the health advantage, force a 4v5, take an objective.
Yeah, they've been utilizing the Death Brush strategy very, very well. And here we go. Insect with the Submarine wants to make a pick onto Cool. If they take him out of this fight, this would be a real bad move right now. OMG able to flash away from that. Cool. Man, the escape artist, but he had to spend everything in the tank just to do it. Now the mid tower under fire. That should go down without too much of a fight. 1 or 2 more hits is all it's going to take. And now the fight is over. This first inhibitor, can StarHorn crack it? Hook is going to nearly connect, but Dada needed a couple more pixels to make that happen. Hit and run plays from StarHorn all game, and it's working.
So good right here, though, as they stall out into this brush, seeing if OMG will face check, but doesn't look like they're going to bite.
They are a little overextended right now. Baron is up. What does StarHorn do from here? They just want to take the fight. OMG realize it's happening. They get a stun up onto Cola. Rune Prison in. Hook is not going to connect. There's Chum. The waters going. They're focusing hard on him. And down he goes. Dada 7 with the box trying to disengage. But he is going to nearly go down. Bomb in his head. That's going to be 0 with the kill. Flashing forward. They manage to find even more. Cola is low. However, they are still chasing OMG all the way back into their base. They cannot even leave. And here comes Insect. They can't even stay. Cool. He's going down. Uzi getting the credit for this one. And this might be the end of the game here. It's only San and Loveling available. San is hiding under his own tower. The zone control from StarHorn Royal Club is incredible. And can they finish this off with this next wave of minions? Froksurinn, this is so close, so tense, and it's hard to call.
Oh, see how greedy they get right here.
Yeah, here we go. San with the home guard boots. They're trying to chase this one out. Cole is low. Oh, equilibrium strike. San, he's down. Loveling, he's going to fall. This is going to be the end of it all. This is going to be StarHorn Royal Club. Game number 1 in their pockets. They will take down that Nexus in 42.5 minutes. Game 1 going to them, and they're 1 away from Worlds.
Outside a few errors in the early game, StarHorn pretty much played the perfect game. Again, super methodical, very clear on the objectives that they wanted, made sure that they found the picks, and every pick meant something. It wasn't just a random team fight here, or they catch someone here. It's we're going to make this catch now because we're going to immediately transition this into a tower, into a Baron. Of course, that second Baron going down, kind of the big swing of power for them, but beautiful performance from StarHorn Royal Club.
Absolutely amazing. I mean, we've talked about how they're characteristically the early game team gets ahead and then has trouble closing out. This was completely out to left field. They had a lot of back and forth. OMG controlled. OMG made some good plays. They gave up a couple of mistakes they were capitalized on almost immediately. And as a result, well, you saw the end of it. We'll switch it over. Take a look at what's going on in all of that craziness. But guys, what an amazing game number 1. It is so hard to call what this next one's going to be.
I think a lot of the success really went to the Zillion pick, and I expect that to either be taken away or contested. Just the utility that allowed, but more importantly, the superficial tankiness that the Chrono Shift, the Zhonya's Hourglass, and then of course the natural tankiness that Aurelia is bringing was fantastic to stall out these fights. OMG they didn't have the damage to compete with that, and a lot of that came down to the fact that Cool and Drug didn't have the best showing, very lackluster games from them. Yeah,
it could have been a lot worse for them, I think. Drug definitely needed to rethink a little bit of his strategy, where he was going and all of that. But let's see. I don't really know how to put this, because Dada stepped up incredible. San was a much better player. It seems like OMG is a little bit inconsistent with how they're performing overall, but it was much better from their weaker players.
From OMG, yeah, we're talking about it was a lackluster showing. Of course, Drug's score reflects this 2-8-8 on that Kha'Zix, but StarHorn Royal Club, I mean, at what point in the day is it a team playing bad or another team just playing well? And frankly, I think StarHorn Royal Club just played that fantastic.
Yeah, I think so. I think so too. They really, really want to go to Worlds. You can see it. This is why they've been dubbed the Super Hot Royal Crew, and we'll see if they can do it again. So guys, we're going to a brief commercial break, try to get the TGA stream going for you once again. And of course, you are watching Chinese World Qualifiers for Season 4. We will be right back. So we'll have to see how this game does go. Everyone is locked in. We'll be going on the Rift in just a minute. Guys, we're taking a quick break. We'll be right back. Game number 1, StarHorn Royal Club versus OMG.
有点像优在去年那个 cos 那个维恩，对吧？好，这边双方的阵容已经确定了。OMG 第一把拿出了有一点点让我们意想不到的阵容，反而皇族是拿到了我们之前猜到差不多的阵容。对的，有刀妹拿刀妹，中路拿出他擅长的小鱼人 ，ADC 这里拿出了昨天表现非常好的露西安。 但是辅助时光这一手的话，是我们没有想到的。
对，因为 Zero 不太喜欢打这种，
他喜欢用娜美啊这种的英雄。
对。
你还记得我之前有说，OMG 这边有可能会拿时光这个体系，但是我觉得皇族这边可能是防止对面呢，有可能的。
有可能。
好，我们看到现在双方选手都已经准备就绪，马上进入 OMG 和皇族的第一场比赛。
All right, everybody, welcome to Summoner's Rift for the start of what will be an explosive series between OMG and StarHorn World Club. On the line, a trip to Worlds. The winner will make it for sure. The loser will have to fight against LGD, and both these teams coming out of the gate swinging.
Speaking of swing, Cola taking a little bit of damage from Go-Going, and can we talk about Go-Going's rise? We didn't get to mention it much into the champion select. When you beat Go-Going's rise, you get to put that on your resume.
Yeah, that's like the thing that you want to aspire to. Now, Cola has had some success on Aurelia. See if he can get the outduel going. Both these, when you're Cola, he's not necessarily known for being particularly great at any one thing. Split pushing is kind of what they like to use him for in a flex situation. Talk a little bit more about the mid laner, though, on StarHorn, because this has been a big part of their resurgence, is putting a lot more emphasis on Corrin.
Corrin has found a lot of success on two particular champions, Fizz and Orianna. Orianna in particular, obviously, will always be a powerful champion just because of everything that she allows for a team. Anti-siege and mobility speed-ups are also very potent in China just because of how their meta works. Expect that to be a contested pick. That said, the scary thing is Corrin, he has a decent-sized champion pool, but again, most of his success has been on a very select few champions, and the fact that he's staring across from Cool himself is already a very intimidating opponent. Again, we talk about he's one of the best mid laners in the world, but used 5 different champions in every single game of his playoff set against StarHorn World Club. Played 11 different champions over the course of 28 games. This guy, you can't even ban him out. Expect to see a Yasuo ban, expect to see a Ryze ban, but he's got too many tricks.
Yeah, it's really hard to compete with that, and I think their best hope is to try and play something safe shut down. I don't think the Fizz will make it through pick bans, just because OMG has shown that they're very smart about taking that away from StarHorn, generally speaking. Speaking of the teams, we will be taking a look at them. Just a minute, there's a camera panning on over. Looks like we'll start at the support position this time, and that is where it's been a lot of trouble for OMG. They had some roster shakeups towards the end of the split. They had to move from Cloud, who they ended up benching, to Dota7, previously known as Coma, Neymar, Tricky Boy. These guys do change their names a lot, but the performance was just not there, and OMG has been struggling with it.
And I feel like we emphasize this a lot. We talk about the performance of OMG's bot lane is very lackluster right now. They're kind of stumbling at the finish line. They had this amazing split, and they're just, in conjunction with the Braum ban, it's a direct hit at Son and Dota7. We talk all the time that Son, the weakest point for him is his laning phase. Dota7 has found a lot of success on Thresh, which is why we see that locked in, and Braum, due to the fact that he kind of face checks bushes randomly, and Braum allows him to kind of get out of sticky situations. But Son will continuously play Lucian to try to superficially bump his performance in lane phase and just kind of pass through it so he can get into that team fight phase. By taking that away, I'm curious what option he'll go to. If we're going to see a Corki or a Kog'Maw or Tristana.
It's very possible. We haven't seen the mid lane filled out just yet, assuming Go-Going does go for the Ryze choice. We already have Insect locking in his Rengar as well as the top lane. Cola going on Aurelia, he's proven adept at that. But Cool, yeah, he can play just about anything, and it will be a Zed pickup, so we will get to see that.
I would love to see Trist.
I think that's what they go to. He's had reasonable success on it. Twitch is an option, but it's blind. Ooh, Vayne, okay. All right, let's see that.
They might go for a lane swap here with that Vayne. I mean, going and facing across from Zero and Uzi is always going to be very intimidating. Possibly one of the best 2v2 lane matchups. I don't even think Name and FCZF would have a hard time with this lane.
I think so. I'm really worried about the mid lane though right now. And yeah, you got to go for the Fizz pickup. I wasn't doubting that Korn would go for that since it was open available to him and almost never is. So we will see support Zilean. I really like this comp from StarHorn though, just in sort of an assassination role.
Mobility is very potent in China, it always will be, which is why Zilean, it's strong globally, but it's very strong in China due to the, not just the chrono shift, of course, the ultimate, the anti-siege that it provides, but mostly due to its speed up and slow down. Again, towers fall very quickly in China, games become very chaotic, these teams like to fight each other at any point in time, and that speed up to close those gaps is very potent.
Yeah.
好的，观众，欢迎来到英雄联盟3周年庆典的现场，我是米勒。
Alright guys, we have been very patient. We are ready to get underway though, finally, as game number 1, set number 1, StarHorn Royal Club versus OMG. You just saw the player enters on your screen, and we are going to get into champ select in just a minute. Frosk, this matchup, there's been a lot of this lately, especially in the 2 sets they played over the semifinals and the opening brackets of the LPL playoffs.
First and foremost, it's very important to recognize what either of these teams do well and where they excel, and then that kind of helps paint the picture of how these teams will actually face up and where they match up. So StarHorn Royal Club, let's just start with them. The most obvious power point is going to be in that bot lane. That's the AD carry Uzi, and it's the support Zero. Likewise, they've seen a lot of success with their superstar jungler coming over, Insec, of course, the big KT guy. But it's that combination and that the fact that Insec religiously ganks bottom over and over and over to get Uzi that snowball to allow him to become that powerhouse and be that terrifying AD carry that we know he can be, that is really the key to success for StarHorn Royal Club. The fact that Cola and Korn have been stepping up their game in kind of the back half of the split and definitely through the playoffs isn't a hindrance to them at all, but it's definitely all about ganking that bot lane, getting that bot lane ahead. On the other side, OMG, we've said it over and over and over again, Son, their AD carry, Dada 7, the support that we'll be playing for them tonight, probably the weakest links, and one of the weakest bot lanes actually in LPL, a region that's known for their marksmen, that's known for their strong bot lanes. That said, their strength is actually kind of, if you think about the map, StarHorn Royal Club is incredibly powerful on the bottom side of the map. OMG is incredibly potent on the top side of the map. You're dealing with not only Cool, probably the best mid laner in China, one of the best in the world, but you're also dealing with the powerhouse of Going, one of the last standing all-star carry top laners.
Right, and that's something that's really hard to deal with, especially
kind of tanking at the very back half of it. Let's not forget that Koma, Tricky Boy Dada 7, whatever you want to call him, with Son was the bot lane that OMG showed at Worlds last year. They've beaten teams like TSM. At IEM, they showed strong against Fnatic. So yes, we constantly call them the weak point, but you know, he's been playing on the team for a very long time, and they have shown results on an international stage.
Yeah, and that is true. He's got the experience in his pocket that they've clearly thought is their best option. We're already in picks and bans, though, so here we go. Lee Sin taken away out the gate, and that's fairly smart to deal with Insec. The cow has been banned. Going's been drawing those quite frequently.
Again, it is 4.14, so the Alistar changes as far as the extra auto attack with the headbutt is still in the game. Expect to see that champion banned across the board. Jax being targeted and taken away from Cola.
That's smart too. Maokai bans. There's been a lot of top bans, and this is only to be expected against Going, but Jax as well. You've got to not allow Cola to get on a champion he's very comfortable dueling and split pushing with. Orianna ban. So this leaves Fizz open.
Ban.
I wouldn't think anything else. That's kind of the last obvious point here.
I expect it to be a mid lane ban. I expect Yasuo or Ryze.
Oh, it's Braum. Whoa.
Ooh.
Okay, do they first pick Yasuo now?
No, I mean, there's too many counter options. That said, Cool. Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, and that's the flex pick though too, because Cool can do that, Going can do that. Going has the best Ryze in China, and this is up to StarHorn to answer. They get the Zilean lock in immediately. This is also a flex choice.
I like that both teams are, like you said, picking up these flex choice champions. The fact that Ryze has been shown, you don't know if it's going to be that top Ryze, so it means that the Yasuo can't necessarily come out as early as it would like to. And of course, we could see that Zilean in the support position or the mid position.
Curious. Uzi on Lucian now too. We have talked in a lengthy bit about Lucian's continued popularity.
But what's really important about the Lucian first pick from StarHorn Royal Club,